Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today is my birthday and this is a really exciting one, so I thought I would share with you my birthday present from Chris. It wasn't a surprise, it was something I asked for and it was something I researched as well, but I'm still really excited to finally get to use it. So this is a fountain pen and it's by the brand Platinum. So the reason I asked for a fountain pen is that I use, there's one here, I was going to have a look around, but there's bound to be one nearby. I use Pilot pens and I use them all the time. I probably throw away close to 10 a year, and it wasn't something, you know, the disposable plastic thing, it wasn't something I'd really thought about with pens. But I saw it on a YouTube video, one of those, you know, environmentally friendly swap, and someone had swapped their plastic pens for a fountain pen, and that got me thinking that yeah, I would probably like to use a fountain pen instead of one of these all the time. Right, so I'm rambling already. You're here just for the unboxing and the review. Let's get on with it. So it comes in a case like this with the cardboard sleeve. I'll take that off, and then we've got a nice presentation box, and inside there's the pen. It took me so long to choose these. I read so many reviews, watched YouTube videos, and I just wanted a nice looking pen. I didn't want a classic pen. I do appreciate the look, but I wanted something a little bit different, a little bit more interesting, and I feel that the fountain pen world needs to step up a little bit on that. The design of a lot of them, classic would be a nice way of saying it, and boring would be another, and very masculine. And reading the reviews and watching YouTube videos, it was mostly men doing them. I don't know why fountain pen writing seems to be more leaning towards that gender, but I don't want to get into gender politics and things. I feel like there is definitely a place in the market for some more feminine looking pens. And I know it sounds obvious and generalising, but yeah, I want some pretty pens basically. You either have to go very cheap or you have to go very expensive. And I was sort of going middle range, I would say, although I ended up choosing one that was a lot more expensive than my first choice. And my first choice was I've written it down, Lamy LX, because I found one that was rose gold and it looked pretty and it had good reviews. In the end, I decided I didn't want, there were a couple of things that the reviews said, such as the pen lid was too heavy to pop it on the end, which is apparently called posting, and I know that that's what I will do. It really frustrates me when I have to find somewhere to put the lid. I know it's a silly thing, but I'm not always at my desk. Sometimes I'm on my swing chair out in the garden, sometimes I'm on public transport or whatever, and I don't want to lose that lid, so I want to be able to write with it on the end. And also I was a bit nervous that the nib wasn't thin enough. A lot of reviews of that pen said that the nib came up wide, and I think it was available in extra fine, but most people were saying that it was more, and the reviews were showing it next to fine and it was exactly the same, and the fine was exactly the same as the medium. So I was a bit nervous that the nib might end up being too wide for me. So I chose a Japanese brand because people were generally saying that Japanese brands, the nib is smaller than the European or American brands. But yeah, there is a whole world of fountain pens to get involved in. And I can see myself, I can imagine myself getting caught up in that, because I don't think this is, well, we'll see how I get on with this, but I've already got my eye on another pen. I did want the Pilot Elite. I think that was actually my first choice, but I couldn't find one for my birthday. You know, at the moment we are right in the middle of the whole coronavirus lockdown, so some shops weren't shipping. We did find this in Pen Heaven, they shipped that. Amazon was not, I didn't find the best range on Amazon, and it was also very limiting on proper information. So inside the box we have a user manual, a little bit about Nice in France, because I think that's what this pen is named after. And I've just realised, well, it'll be in the title, but I realised I haven't said the actual name of the pen. It's 3776 Century. That's not the most catchy name, is it? I think 3776 is the height of Mount Fuji, and that's why it was named after that. So we've got a little card about that. We've got, oh, a second instruction manual. Now, they've obviously thought of a couple of extra things they needed to say, such as do not use for purposes other than writing. A little card from the place we got it from, penheaven.com, a warranty card, and a blue ink cartridge, which is a weird shape. You probably won't be able to pop in your local WH Smiths and get a replacement cartridge. So also for my birthday, I got some nice posh ink, which is from Pilot, and apparently this is really good ink. I doubt I'll be able to keep refilling my pen with this brand of ink. So the reason why I haven't told you is I have no idea how to pronounce it. So I'll do a little cutaway so you can see how it's spelt. Okay, well I chose blue and a sort of magenta pink so that I can write my first draft of my book in blue and then do the corrections in the magenta. But I will start by filling it with the blue. Oh, isn't that the most beautiful ink bottle you've ever seen? I wonder how long that will last me. Okay, I'll fill up my pen for the first time and let's see how it writes. Ew, this is so exciting. So as you can see, I chose a model that's quite see-through. It came with this little tag on it. Let me pull that off. It's got this lovely rose gold details on it. On this central bit, I'm sorry, I'm not a fountain pen expert. I don't know what these bits are called. It just says the name Platinum, made in Japan, the model number 3776, and that's that. And then it unscrews, and this was one of the main points of this pen. It's called a slip and seal mechanism, and apparently it won't dry out for up to 2 years. I do write daily, at least in my journal. If not, I should be writing my book daily, but it's good to know that if I leave it alone for a while, it won't just dry out or be difficult to use again. And we've got a rose gold nib, all the rose gold accents, which I thought was, you know, a slightly prettier than just the gold. This is probably the best value gold nib pen I found. I think it was about £150. I should have said that probably a bit sooner. A lot more money than I've ever spent on a pen. I think probably the most expensive pen I've bought was about £15. I love the little heart on the nib there. And yeah, that looks pretty fine, but we shall see what it writes like in a minute. So it is quite a short pen. Sitting in my hand, for me that is comfortable. I can imagine if you've got larger hands, that might be a little short. The lid definitely makes it heavier, but not too bad. I usually do write with the pen with the lid on the end, and that sits quite nicely there. But this one feels nice and secure. That's not going to fall off. The ink converter is already in it. That just pops in and out like that. So I've never done this before. I'm not new to fountain pens. I wasn't allowed to use a biro at school. We learnt with those awful Beryl handwriting pens, did you? Those red ones that were so thick and so clumsy to write. It's ridiculous. No wonder I learnt how to write at all with a pen. Yeah, throughout secondary school I used a cheap fountain pen. My difficulty was always the fact that the nibs were too wide and I write small, and yeah, so finding an extra fine nib was the priority. This is actually only fine, not extra fine. As I said earlier, the Japanese nibs have a reputation for being a bit finer, so I'm hoping that it will be fine. Oh yes, I was saying, so most of the time I did use cartridges, but when I did fill a fountain pen, I used to have a thing on the end that you squeezed as you dipped it in the ink, and then as you let go it filled with ink. But nowadays you seem to screw it. I don't know whether this is a feature of more expensive pens or just how all fountain pens are these days. I think first of all I turn it all the way down. Get my bottle of ink. Oh, I should get a tissue ready. Hang on. Okay, so it says I dip this in as far as the gripping section. So I shall follow the diagram and then screw it that way. So that's as far as it goes. So it's not filled it with ink. Perhaps I didn't dip it in far enough. So maybe it's normal to have this gap at the top here. Right, let's give this a try then. I'll gather my notebooks and compare how it feels on all of them. This is the notebook I'm using as a diary at the moment. So this, I'm just going to do a little scribble at the top So this is the pen I normally use to write, which is Extra Fine Pilot Precise V5. So here we go. Right. Straight away. Normally there's no shaking it. My cheap one, you have to shake it. Yeah. Wow, straight away. Oh my gosh, it is fine. It is finer than the Extra Fine. The ink is a bit paler than I expected it to be. I used Prussian blue. Next time I pick an ink, I might go for a darker blue than that. I like it though. Oh, I love it. Look how small I can write. Give it a second. There's absolutely no, oh, there's a little bit of smudging there. I know people talk about how wet a pen writes. I would say this isn't very wet. Okay, so this is my bullet journal, which is from the Little Journal Company. And in fact, there is a page to test. It's about our creaky floorboards upstairs. Okay, this is much nicer to write on actually. This is quite thick quality paper. It is meant to be able to take marker pen, and it does on the whole. There's one marker pen that just bled through, and yeah, you can tell the better quality paper. Oh, this is really nice. I mean, I don't know if you can hear this at the moment. The road is very quiet outside. I have to say that it's a little more sort of, I wouldn't say scratchy, but I think if I do get into collecting fountain pens, I think maybe next time I might look for one that this, you know, is perhaps a little wetter. But it definitely doesn't inhibit my speed. Maybe I should get used to writing without the lid on. Yeah, that actually is a bit better without it posted. But it's good to know that I can write with the lid on if I'm in that sort of situation. Okay, that's that book. Now this is my W.H. Smith's daily list book. My list for today. I shall add to it, make an unboxing and first impressions video, and I would say that writes fine on here. Yeah, not quite as good as the bullet journal, but better than my diary. So overall, my first impressions are really good. I'm really pleased. When you're spending that sort of money, or at least your husband is spending that much money on you for a present, you don't want to get it wrong, do you? I was quite nervous about this. I needn't have been. I'm very pleased. I'm so pleased with how fine. I cannot get over how fine that the nib is. I'll do another close-up comparing this pen against this pen, which is this is the High-Tech 0.5 extra fine pilot pen. This is the one I usually use, but that's perfect for me because yeah, I write quickly and I write small. So I think if I were to get into fountain pen buying, and I've got a feeling I might get a second one, maybe I'll wait until Christmas, because I think it would be quite handy to have two different colours on the go at the same time. Oh, another important test is how well does it clip to the page. Oh, that's good. That is good. So that's over 2 pages, and that's a really nice, that's firmly on, that's not falling off. That wasn't a struggle to get on either, so there's a nice spring to that clip. That's important. So as I said, I'm not like an expert fountain pen user, and this is just a first impressions review. So if there's anything you'd like to know, if you're in the market for a fountain pen and have a question about this that I haven't covered, please do ask them in the comments. I haven't included all the technical spec because that's something you can find from their website. I'll put that link below to the Platinum website. I hope this has been helpful if you're looking for a fountain pen, and if so, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click subscribe. I'd love to see you again. I generally do videos with a creative theme to them, and vlogs and various bits and bobs, so click on my name below and then see what else I've got to offer, and if that takes your fancy, please hit subscribe, and thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye.